एनाटॉमी कंसेप्ट चैनल में आपका स्वागत है। और इस चैनल में हम देखेंगे एनाटॉमी की कुछ इम्पोर्टेंट कंसेप्ट्स। वो कंसेप्ट्स जो एग्ज़ाम के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है, वो कंसेप्ट्स जो आपको मेडिसिन एनाटॉमी समझने के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है। हम फोकस करेंगे कि हम एनाटॉमी को कैसे समझें, और आपकी जो भी इश्यूज़ है आप कमेंट सेक्शन में लिख सकते हैं। उसका जो चैप्टर है उसको कुछ सेक्शन में हमने डिवाइड किया है, जैसे एनाटॉमी एग्जैक्टली होता क्या है। कभी कभी एग्जामिनर ये पूछ लेते हैं एग्ज़ाम में कि व्हाट इज़ एनाटॉमी, और बच्चा ब्लैंक हो जाता है, पता नहीं होता है यार, सब तो पढ़ लिया बट एनाटॉमी होता क्या है पता ही नहीं है। हिस्ट्री इन ब्रीफ, यानी इसमें हम देखेंगे कि कैसे एनाटॉमी पढ़ा जाता था और वो कौन से फाउंडर है, वो कौन से फादर ऑफ एनाटॉमी है, जो साइंटिस्ट जो बने हैं जिन्होंने बहुत सारा हेवी कंट्रीब्यूशन किया है एनाटॉमी में। हम देखेंगे एनाटॉमीज़ के लॉ क्या होते हैं। हम देखेंगे कैडावर प्रिजर्व कैसे करते हैं, जिस प्रोसीजर को हम एम्बाल्मिंग कहते हैं, उसके बारे में हम थोड़ा सा ब्रीफली जान लेंगे। द मेन फोकस जो है हमारे आज के इस सेशन का वो होगा बेसिक नोमेनक्लेचर में। आज हम एनाटॉमिकल पोजीशन भी समझेंगे क्या होता है, और हम ओवरव्यू देखेंगे कि ये एनाटॉमी में कौन कौन से सेक्शन होते हैं जिसमें आप सब्जेक्ट पढ़ते हैं। तो एनाटॉमी का जो होता है कितना इम्पोर्टेंस है मेडिसिन फील्ड में, सब लोग जानते हैं, एवरीबडी इज़ अवेयर ऑफ दैट। और यही सारा चीज़ हम देखने वाले हैं आज के सेशन में। सो लेट्स बिगिन विथ आवर सेशन। फ्रेंड्स, वी विल एक्चुअली डिस्कस आवर टॉपिक इन दिस हेडिंग्स। हम ये सारे जो हेडिंग्स हैं इसमें हमारा टॉपिक डिस्कस करने वाले हैं, और उसमें मेनली आएगी टर्मिनोलॉजीज। तो नोमेनक्लेचर, जिस चीज़ को बोलते हैं नोमेनक्लेचर, द थिंग दैट विल बी डिस्कस टुडे इज द नोमेनक्लेचर। और एनाटॉमी का इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है, एंड व्हाट आर द जनरल थिंग्स दैट यू नीड टू नो अबाउट एनाटॉमी। ओके, सो विल प्रोसीड। टर्म एनाटॉमी मीनिंग इज कटिंग अप, कट अप। ओके, कटिंग अप यानी कुछ काटना, कुछ काट के उसे देखना, दैट इज़ एनाटॉमी। और ये एनाटॉमी टर्म जो होता है, दिस इज़ नॉट ओनली रिलेटेड टू मेडिसिन ऑफ anything you want to study anatomy of anything, in detail, the thing will be called as the anatomical study. For example, if you want to study the anatomy of making any art, like a simple balloon, so how to design a balloon, how to use a material, how to put it in a machine, and everything will be called as anatomy of making a balloon. Likewise, see, the term anatomy can be a general and can be a very specific. As we study in the medicine, the anatomy is a term related to the study of the body, a human body, and generally it is done with the help of cutting up. The dissection is another term equivalent to the Greek term anatome. The anatome is nothing but the cutting up. So you cut up and you study. And this is the study of the human body is the anatomy. What is inside? You want to see whether this is the skin, a fascia, a muscle, a connective tissue inside, a bone for that matter, like this, where we have seen a bone in the forearm, or a neurovascular bundle that is comprising of the artery, the vein, or a nerve. So what are the things that you study in the body, and this is what we call it as anatome in the Greek, or the dissect in the Latin, and to cut open and study. This is our branch, we call it as anatomy. A very basic history of the anatomy will see in the brief कि एनाटॉमी में क्या था। बहुत सारे साइंटिस्ट, too many of scientists have given it in the anatomy. The father of anatomy, usually regarded as the father of anatomy, is Herophilus. Herophilus in the 300 BC was first to dissect the body, and he has written a lot of books, in the Latin, in the European languages, and he is considered as the father of anatomy, the founder of modern human anatomy. Vesalius has written a very famous books in the 7 volumes. The book is called as De Fabricia Humani Corporis. And today's, like our generation, even the terminologies of the anatomy, जो भी हम anatomy में terminologies यूज़ करते हैं, जो हम आज देखने वाले हैं briefly, that will be, Herophilus and Vesalius terminologies. Later on, the scientists such as Galen, Leonardo da Vinci, the famous artist, they have all contributed to the development of anatomy, the study of human body and the science of the human body. And they are hugely popular. But this too, somewhere in your even the competitive exams, you may get who is the father of anatomy is the Herophilus, and who is the founder of modern human anatomy is the Vesalius. More structured, more authentic, more recent knowledge of our modern anatomy has originated down from this scientist called as Vesalius. So it's very important, the founder of or the father of modern human anatomy that we see today. Say in the Europe and the America, the laws pertaining to the body retrieval, the body handover from some institution or some we'll say procedures that was derived, that was applied in the 1826 to 33, where the dissection was made compulsory in those states. And you had some laws like the Warburton Anatomy Act in the 1932, which allowed unclaimed bodies, जिसमें कोई क्लेम नहीं करता था, जो बेवारस बॉडी हम बोलते हैं इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस में, ऐसी बॉडीज़ को आप एजुकेशनल पर्पजेस के लिए कॉलेजेस को दे दो. एंड दिस वाज द एक्ट पास्ड इन द अमेरिका. इट वाज वे बैक इन 1831 the law, similar law was passed. And in the Indian states, in the Indian country, we had in the 1959 similar law, passed, which said Anatomy Act of 1959, with supply of unclaimed bodies to the medical institute in the India. And with these laws, it has become very easy to understand anatomy while you study it, while you see it, while you cut it up, So these laws are very important. You should know why we are getting, how we are getting the bodies, and in a procedure called as embalming. This embalming is a procedure where you inject a disinfectant, a fixative and a preservative solution in the cadaver. In the anatomy lab, we have instruments that are used to inject this formaldehyde, very commonly used formaldehyde, 10% concentration we use in the embalming. The other like alcohol, acetone, glutaraldehyde, ये सारे जो chemicals है, phenol with the different properties, glycerine, coloring agent like any like potassium permanganate. These are all kinds of agents are used in the. They are used in different concentration mixed with the water and 5 to 6 liter solution we generally inject as an embalming fluid. Okay. In the 8 hours of the day, the body has to be procured to just prevent decomposition of the muscles in the body, the different tissues. They have different times of decay, but we want to get the cadaver as early as possible. Generally within 6 to 8 hours we have to procure it, and then we inject different kinds of fluid which are mentioned above, and this procedure is called as embalming. Big size arteries in the thigh and the neck are generally used. इसका नाम होता है femoral artery, thigh वाली artery. The carotid arteries are generally preferred for the cannulation and cannula, big cannula is passed in the arteries, and we inject the fluid. The body is checked for the proper embalming, and then we store the body in the tanks which are there in the anatomy lab. Okay, generally dissection hall only has such kind of facility where you have a separate room for the embalming. See, these are the ways by which you study the anatomy, the divisions of the anatomy. And these divisions are nothing but a way to learn anatomy in a different pattern. See, हम जो पढ़ते हैं एनाटॉमी, ये पहला ही जो है रीजनल तरीके से पढ़ते हैं. रीजनल यानी हर एक रीजन का हम स्टडी करते हैं. हैंड लाइक अपर लिम, लोअर लिम, से एब्डोमेन, से थोरैक्स, से हेड, नेक, फेस, brain, everything in a regional pattern. This is how Indian style we see or we study the anatomy. You can go system wise, like digestive system, respiratory system. You can study function wise, what are the functions and which structure perform that function, and let the details flow later on. So this is a way of studying anatomy. Comparative, where you compare the different set of animals with each other, and that is how you develop your the understanding of the body. In the microanatomy, this is a current topic. This is important practically as well. You study the details of the anatomy under the microscope. So histology or microanatomy is synonymous. They are using the microscope and the slides which are prepared in a special, I would say for now, the staining. Okay, the H&D is the commonly used stain, hematoxylin and eosin, and those slides of different various systems, the organs, the structures under the study, you study in the microanatomy. In the embryology you study, आप उसमें पढ़ते हो डेवलपमेंट कैसे होते हैं ह्यूमंस की. डेवलपमेंटल एनाटॉमी इज हाउ अ टू सेल्ड zygote or first cell of your body, I would call zygote. How a zygote develops into a full human being, how male female gametes unite and their course to a full blown human is the embryology. Clinical anatomy, where you study the anatomy in a clinical scenario based way. You study, आप ये पढ़ते हो कि कैसे डिसीजेस डेवलप होते हैं अगर कोई स्ट्रक्चर में कुछ स्ट्रक्चरल डिफेक्ट हो. मेनली सर्जिकल डिफेक्ट्स we consider, whatever is visualized on the body because of any deformity, anything going wrong in an artery, in a blood vessel, in a nerve, in a compression, like that. You study different syndrome clinical scenarios in the clinical or applied anatomy. In the surface of the living anatomy, you study what are the deeper structure, how to palpate it on the surface, how to recognize testing of a muscle, a nerve, how to palpate a artery in the living anatomy. In the surface anatomy, generally this is obsolete. I don't know how many of institute follow currently. Okay, few institute follow this surface anatomy, where you draw a point of beginning, end and course of a structure in our body, how it runs. Say in the thigh there is an artery called as femoral artery, where it begins, where it ends, how you draw it on a surface in a mummified specimen. This is your surface anatomy. In the living, you palpate, you try and taste few muscles. This is what your living anatomy. Okay, radiographically you can study the different anatomical structure, imaging, especially those which are not visible with the naked eye clearly. There's a few things in the brain you can clearly visualize over the radiographic or the MRI images, and this is the most commonly used modality of the even the reporting of few of the reasons. So you have to know few, कुछ चीज़ें आपको पता होनी चाहिए जो रेडियोग्राफिक और इमेजिंग में हम यूज़ करते हैं. Physical anthropology, where you use different bony landmarks, different projections, different structures in a metered way. You measure few of the parameters, and this study is called as anthropology. How they differ in a person, how do they differ in a region, how do they differ in a race. So all those kinds of comparative studies in the different parameters related to the human body is known as physical anthropology. Okay, so we have to see part of genetics in the anatomy as well. Okay, basics of the genetics, ranging from the Mendel's law to the gametogenesis, to your chromosomes, to your pattern of chromosomal I would say studies, their disorders, be it numerical or structural. You study all these kind of things in the genetics. In the majority of the institute, this experimental anatomy is not known, I would say, and we can attribute this to the non-availability of a lot of research facilities which should be normalized, but few institutes do not have this. On experimental anatomy, research component is the major thing, and this is mainly post-graduation topic. Okay, undergraduates doesn't have to worry about this, but this is a very, I would say, continuously evolving branch of the anatomy, where we study different factors affecting the growth, some structural differentiation, some positive factors of a big disorder can be learned in this experimental anatomy. So these are the divisions of the anatomy. You should be well aware. Okay, सब लोगों को एनाटॉमिकल पोजीशन क्या होता है, व्हाट्स एनाटॉमिकल पोजीशन, ये पता होना ही चाहिए. एंड दिस इज द पोजीशन ऑफ द कैडावर और द बॉडी, or the human body for that matter, in which you study different structures. Because if you have to mention a structure, its relation, अगर आपको एनाटॉमिकल स्ट्रक्चर को मेंशन करना है, उसका कुछ बोलना है, तो एक यूनिवर्सल पोजीशन होनी चाहिए जिस पोजीशन में a living or a dead person is mentioned. Whatever you are studying, it is in respect to this anatomical position. There is a literature of the anatomy where you will be getting all kinds of structure, and now any textbook mentioning any structure will be, it is well understood कि वो anatomical position में ही mention कर रहा है, unless specified, कि किसी दूसरे लैंग्वेज में वो बोल रहा है, अनलेस स्पेसिफाइड वो स्ट्रक्चर मेंशन है इसी पोजीशन में. तो व्हाट इज दिस पोजीशन इज वेयर अ पर्सन इज स्टैंडिंग इरेक्ट, हम सीधे खड़े हो जाते हैं, फेस आइज फेसिंग स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड, फॉरवर्ड फेसिंग आइज, फॉरवर्ड फेसिंग फेस, हैंड्स बाय द साइड ऑफ द बॉडी, यानी आपके हाथ सीधे स्ट्रेट लाइन में आपके साइड में है, जैसे सावधान वाली जो पोजीशन होती है अपनी. ओके, बस पाम खुले रखने हैं और वो सामने आपके पोजीशन हो जाए. द पाम शुड फेस फॉरवर्ड, द फिट्स टुगेदर, पाम फेसिंग फॉरवर्ड, हेड स्ट्रेट, eyes facing forward, and this position is mentioned as anatomical position, and everything you study in anatomy book is mentioned with this. Okay, so understand this is quite important concept. Now we'll go to the core of our today's topic. This is basic terms in the anatomy, and I believe without mastering these basic terms you cannot master the anatomy. The position or the directional terms, the planes of the anatomy in which you visualize different structure. आप अलग अलग एंगल से स्ट्रक्चर्स को स्टडी करते हो, जिसको बोलते हैं प्लेन्स. आप अलग अलग टर्मिनोलॉजी में डिस्क्राइब करते हो, उसको बोलते हैं पोजिशनल या डायरेक्शनल। तो कौन से वो टर्म्स हैं, मूवमेंट से रिलेटेड कुछ टर्म्स हैं वो भी हम पढ़ेंगे। एंड व्हाट आर दिस नोमेनक्लेचर ऑफ द एनाटॉमी व्हिच आर कमिंग फ्रॉम द, डेफिनेटली you are going to study the anatomical terms which are basically originating from the Latin and the Greek. Okay, but how to describe that basics is our terms. So what is the superficial and deep? It is nothing but the up or down or the outer and inner side of a currently described structure. Currently यानी जिस स्ट्रक्चर का अभी स्टडी हो रहा है, अंडर द स्टडी जो भी स्ट्रक्चर है उसको आप सुपरफिशियल या डीप बोल सकते हैं। कैसे? मान लो यू आर स्टडिंग योर चेस्ट, ऑन द चेस्ट द स्किन विल बी सुपरफिशियल and the lungs inside the chest wall will be the deep structure. This is how you understand superficial and the deep. Superficial क्या हुआ? Chest हुआ, breast हुआ, the muscles which are covering the chest wall, these are superficial in comparison with the deeper structure called as lung or the heart. So this is how you use the term, and it can be anything. Under the study you can describe superficial and deep. Medial and lateral. What are these medial and lateral? If you compare your human body, in the midline, say over the face is the nose, just lateral to that is the cheek, and still lateral to that you have something called as ear. So your ears are lateral in comparison with the nose. Your cheeks are medial in comparison with the ear. But the nose is median. Central in position is the nose. Okay, we can see, I will just write it for you. See, median in position is the nose, lateral in position will be the ear. To understand, you take the cheeks. Okay, your cheeks are medial in position. So medial, lateral and median. So these are the terminologies you have to understand. Basically the midline of the body is the median part. Lateral part is going little bit peripheral, okay, and in between the two, if there is a position, you call it as medial. So medially यानी closer to the midline of the body, whereas the midline itself it calls a median, and the lateral most part or the peripheral part of the body you call it as lateral. You have to mention a structure which is lying in the front side of the body. We call it as ventral or anterior. These are synonymous terms, ventral or anterior. If you have to similarly mention, अगर आपको mention करना है कोई structure जो पीछे situated है, the back side of your body, you call it as dorsal or posterior. देखो ventral यानी आगे वाला, dorsal यानी पीछे वाला. सिमिलर टर्म्स आर एंटीरियर एंड पोस्टीरियर. हम जनरली वेंट्रल और डॉर्सल ये जो सरफेसेस है, ये जो स्ट्रक्चर है, हम एम्ब्रियोलॉजिकल लैंग्वेज में ज़्यादा यूज़ करते हैं. एंटीरियर पोस्टीरियर आर वेरी कॉमन इन द ग्रॉस एनाटॉमी बुक्स. क्रेनियल एंड कोडल अगेन एम्ब्रियोलॉजिकल टर्म्स फॉर द सुपीरियर एंड इन्फीरियर. ओके, देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज सुपीरियर, मतलब जो ऊपर वाला हिस्सा होता है किसी भी स्ट्रक्चर का उसको क्रेनियल या सुपीरियर बोलते हैं, और जो नीचे वाला होते हैं उसको बोलते हैं कॉडल. अपर, लोअर, क्रेनियल, कॉडल, सुपीरियर, इन्फीरियर, सिमिलर टर्म्स. सेंट्रल एंड पेरिफेरल. अभी सेंट्रल यानी मेडुलरी भी बोल सकते हैं, पेरिफेरल हम कॉर्टिकल भी बोल सकते हैं. सिमिलर टर्मिनोलॉजीज, बट इट विल डिफर व्हाट यू आर studying and which way you are studying. Okay, cortex and medulla are again comparable to the central and peripheral. Peripheral यानी cortical, central यानी medullary. Okay, outer and inner, same thing. Okay, so again this positional and directional terms very important in the concepts of the anatomy. सेम चीज़ इस स्लाइड में हमने एक डायग्राम के द्वारा हमने दिखाई है. With the help of a diagram you can study the same thing. Okay, we'll begin with this. this is our center of say body. I have mentioned nose as a reference point. Okay, cheek is another but slightly away point, and ear is farthest point from the nose. So you can say that cheek, the ear lies lateral to the cheek. Okay, and the cheek lies medial to the ear. So ear is lateral, cheek is medial, and the nose is the center of the median point. And this is how you mention likewise the median point, the medial point, and the lateral point. Lateral is the farthest, medial is little bit closer to the midline. Similarly, you have something called as superior or the cranial or the upside of a body. Okay, upper surface, superior surface, or the cranial part. Okay, same things. Similarly, you have opposite like downside or the inferior side or the lower side. Okay, or the caudal side of that part. Okay, you have in a round structure, center will be mentioned as either the medulla or the central part. Cortex will be mentioned as eccentric part or the peripheral part of that structure. Okay, these are few of the basics. I might miss few which you can ask later on in our discussion if you are really confused in something, but these are generally the things that are used in the directions over the mentioning of the directions over the body structures. Okay, and this is how you understand that. What are the planes or the cleavages or the axes which are passing through the body, and how you use that term? Sagittal or median going through the midline of the body, parasagittal or paramedian are parallel to that median plane. Slices of the or the planes which are passing through the body, dividing it into the right and left, whether equal or unequal will decide whether this is a sagittal or median plane or a parasagittal or paramedian. If it is equal, it will be the this, and if it is unequal, it will be the parasagittal paramedian plane. You have different plane called as coronal, which slices the structure into the anterior and posterior part. आगे वाला पार्ट और पीछे वाला पार्ट डिवाइड करेगा. अगर कुछ उसको काटते हैं, इमेजिन यू आर कटिंग an apple which has A and B side. If you cut it, slices it into A and B, that will be called as, if it is anterior and posterior, you will call it as coronal plane. Generally, these coronal planes are used to see the structures from the inside, after cutting. होरिजोनटल यानी ऐसा स्ट्रक्चर को हम डिवाइड करते हैं कि स्ट्रक्चर will be divided like a braid, upper and lower parts. Imagine a complete braid divided into 5-10 pieces which are passing your, the knife is passing through that angles and dividing it into equal or any half that are upper and lower. So this is the horizontal section, and again in the brain most oftenly we use this section. Okay, in the sections of the trunk where you see the sectional anatomy of the thorax and the abdomen, this may be used but very less commonly. So these are the views and angles which are used to look into the structure under the study, and they give different visual experiences, thus enhancing your depth of the knowledge. You can visualize a different structure with these angles and master your anatomy. Okay, so remember these planes or the cleavages or the axis under the study. सबसे कॉमन जो हम यूज करते हैं वो कुछ प्लेन हम देखेंगे अभी. सजाइटल प्लेन. ओके, सजाइटल प्लेन passes through the midline of the body. It can pass like this also, called as parasagittal. Here also it can pass as parasagittal or paramedian will call. But generally sagittal plane we take under the study is through the midline of the structure, and that structure will be divided into right and left by that plane, and you visualize these areas which are in the midline. Okay, generally this is the pattern of study of a structure which we study in a sagittal plane. Now there is a coronal plane where a plane comes from again a vertical side and divides the structure anteriorly and posteriorly. आगे और पीछे के हिस्से में डिवाइड करेगा और फिर से हम ये मिडलाइन वाला स्ट्रक्चर ही स्टडी करते हैं. बट अगेन दिस व्यू विच वी कैनॉट नॉर्मली कैनॉट सी complete in a complete structure, we have to divide and see what is hidden inside. So this is coronal plane. Though in the diagram both look same, remember it, one divides it into right and left, one divides into anterior and posterior, आगे and पीछे, यहाँ पे side division है. So this two are different. Okay, this is another plane which divides this structure into upper and lower side, and this called as horizontal plane, which you will see the superior side of that here and inferior here, and you will look from the below to study this structure, and you will look from the above to study this area. Again, जहाँ से ये पास हो रहा है आपका एक्सिस या प्लेन, वो एरिया आप स्टडी करते हो इन द मिड लाइन, बट द डिवीजन इज डिफरेंट. ऊपर है, नीचे है, राइट है, लेफ्ट है, या आगे है, पीछे है, विल डिटरमाइन विच प्लेन इट इज. सो आई होप ये आपका क्लियर है. These are the basic terms used in the movements with respect to various joints. Any joint in the body will produce these kind of movements. First we'll see what is flexion and extension. We'll see the movement again in the next slide with the diagram, but for now you just go through the names and exactly in brief what is that movement. Okay, so flexion and extension, this is a decrease or increase in the angle of the bony surface around the horizontal axis. For now, if you don't remember axis, that's just fine. Just remember that there is a decrease or increase in the angle of the two bony surfaces. It can be any, like femur and tibia fibula and the knee. Then you have your radius ulna at the elbow. So this is flexion and extension. Classic movement are explained there. Okay, abduction, adduction, movement away or towards the midline of the body or the particular structure or any joint there, and it is called as abduction and adduction. Generally around an anteroposterior axis this movement occurs. Medial and lateral rotation is moving generally limbs or any structure inwards towards the body. It is a rotation called as medial rotation. If it is moving outwards or away from the central line, it is around a vertical axis, occurring around that axis and moving away or outwards from that axis, it is known as lateral rotation. Circumduction is combination of all the above movement, it is known as circumduction. A supination and pronation, this is a very key movement. Supination and pronation, we have a different slide for this. This is the rotation of the forearm producing upwards and downward movement of the palm. See, upward and downward movement of the palm, the rotation of the forearm produces these movements called as supination, in which the palm of your hand is facing upward. Okay, and if it is facing downward, this is known as pronation. They say kings pronate and beggars supinate. Okay, inversion and eversion, these are the movements associated with the sole of the foot, where the sole facing medially is known as inversion, and if it is facing laterally it is known as eversion. And the border of your sole, medial or lateral, determines which movement is occurring, and this is a movement occurring at the subtalar joint. इन्वर्जन, आपके जो पैर होता है उसका मेडियल बॉर्डर ऊपर उठता है और इवर्जन में लैटरल बॉर्डर ऊपर उठता है. सो एंड दैट इज हाउ दे फेस आइदर medially or laterally. The sole is facing medially in inversion. Conjunct or adjunct rotation, these are the rotation that occur independently or with some other movement. Okay, and those rotations are generally occurring in a knee joint. So Conjunct and adjunct rotation are nothing but the rotation with or without the support or in concurrence with the other movement. Okay, adjunct is independent, conjunct is with some other movement. This movement is going to occur. In this schematic diagram, we are going to see this flexion. Okay, this is the flexion, and we'll see. Okay, this is the extension. See, this is your flexion where the angle is decreasing, and this is the extension where the angle is increasing. Okay, in between the arm, this is your arm, and this is the forearm. Okay, so this movement are known as flexion and extension. You can also see that there is this medial rotation and lateral rotation. So what happens in the medial rotation and lateral rotation? You see, medial rotation is the movement of the limb is inwards. Okay, there is a rotation around this vertical axis, it is getting inward, and similarly there is a movement of this limb outward. So this is the your lateral rotation. See, if this limb itself is coming towards the midline of the body, it is known as adduction, and if this limb itself is going away from the body, this is known as abduction. See, B and D are distant apart. Okay, but D and D are same structure, similar. So there is a catch in this. In this word itself, D is near the D. Okay, so DD is medially. Okay, it is going towards the midline of the body, and abduction, it is the limb is moving away from the body. So these are the basic movement, combination of flexion, extension, adduction, abduction, medial rotation, lateral rotation occurs in a combined movement called as circumduction, and this is generally occurring at a joint called as ball and socket joint, which are the highest developed joint in the body. Is the type of joint is the ball and socket joint. We can observe supination and pronation where the palm is facing down. Okay, where the palm is facing down, it is called as pronation. Where the palm is facing up, it is called as supination, and direction of the palm is the key here. Okay, if it is downward, it is pronation. The kings pronate, they donate something, they pronate. Okay, the upwards movement is known as supination, where beggars supinate and they ask for something, So these are the two movements occurring at the radio-ulnar joint in the forearm, and many a times short note comes over that movement. Okay, leg movement, you can observe, this is the medial border of your leg is this one, and this is the lateral border. If the medial is lifted, it is known as inversion. If the lateral is lifted, it is known as eversion. And these two again are synonymous movement with the, or you can compare in the upper limb with the supination and pronation. Okay, so inversion and eversion, the muscles are different, the muscle sets are different which are operating over this, and this movement occur at subtalar joint. Okay, so remember this movement occurring in the leg, in the foot rather. Okay, so very key movements and basic tissues of the body. We have to learn 4 basic tissues, and as an introductory chapter you should be aware of the names of the 4 basic tissues, which are epithelium, connective tissue, the muscles and nervous tissue. See, epithelium, connective tissue, muscles and nervous tissue, these are the 4 basic tissues which are there in the body. Why important to know? Because your body is nothing but a mixture and reunion of all these 4 basic tissues in a different pattern at different tissue level, at a different organ level, at a different system level. So basic tissues will be this. So you have to know thorough. You should be basically clear in this epithelium, connective tissue, muscles, nervous tissue that you are going to see in the basics of the anatomy, the general anatomy. We are going to soon start with the series, and you are also going to learn basics in the histology. So all these will be taken care as a introductory lecture. You just have an idea of what is this epithelium. Okay, so epithelium is nothing but the collection of the cells sitting over a basement membrane. So this is the basement membrane, the floor of these cells, the floor, or we'll see the cells are resting over this. This is the nucleus and this is the cell. Any such collection of cells sitting together on a common basement membrane, we call it as epithelium. We also have second as connective tissue. This is a basic tissue which is forming a supportive framework of the body. The viscera, the different structures in the body, they have connective tissue fiber, few connective tissue cell nuclei which are there, and they are modified in many places to form certain structure. Again, we have a separate lecture over the connective tissue. In the muscles, we have the muscle tissue, the muscle cells, the nuclei of the few of the supporting cells, and you also have the ends blending with the attaching with the bones. So this is the tendon of this muscle. There are number of types of muscles which will be dealt in a separate lecture again. You also have one of the basic tissues, nervous tissue, the neurons. The nervous tissue has neurons as well as few other types of cell, and nervous tissue is also considered as a basic tissue. So blending of all these tissue will give rise to your human body. What is the importance of anatomy in the curriculum? Obviously this is the base of your building of the medical knowledge. Your medical knowledge starts with the knowledge of the human body. You spend around half of your time in the first year in the anatomy only, and this first MBBS has more than half of the dedicated teaching hours to the anatomy. So anatomy is really important. That curriculum wise, even the new CBME pattern gives a lot of weightage to the anatomy, and it will be assessing you in some form of MCQs, SCQs and LAQs at a different university level, in maybe some or other different formats, but there will be LAQ, there will be SCQ, there will be MCQs. So this is how we have anatomy in our curriculum. Okay, and we have already seen different divisions of the anatomy, how we are going to learn anatomy. And generally, see, you have to plan with simple to hard. General anatomy first, then you go with the region wise. Okay, so this is how you are going to see. I will be giving you the tips for the study, for the remembering or memory of important facts, and how to remember the concepts during our forthcoming lectures. Definitely there are I would say a request from different people regarding what book should they refer. It is a personal choice, but I have few of my favorite that I am just giving you the names. It doesn't mean that the other are not good. Every book is worth reading, but we have some books tasted over the years. And for the general anatomy, for the gross anatomy, we have BD Chaurasia. It is my personal favorite. Okay, still a gold standard. It is running since our UG days. We have the new editions like Vishram Singh. You have Sontak sir's gross anatomies volumes. You also have IB Singh. You also are new books are coming with the themes and what not. Every other are there. You can use your Gray's Anatomy, the big, as well as the proper reference book, as well as Students Anatomy. You can look for some beautiful pictures of the some different or difficult rather topics. So it will help you. You can also purchase letters if you have that much appetite for the anatomy, and you have that spending capability over those atlases and all. You have Thames Atlas as well, which is a nice one. For the dissection, there is no option as such. For the Cunningham remains the gold standard. You are also having a lot of option in that I would suggest you just observe what are those books, and you can purchase Grant's Dissector, Gray's Dissector, Thames Dissector. There are number of books coming there. Okay. Histology, GP Pal, UG, for UG people, GP Pal's Histology is there, which is a nice book. You also have Inderbir Singh's, which is equally good. So you can wait, you can ask your concerned teachers to go for the book. Embryology, IB Singh is referred all over for the UGs, and since a long time it is the book which has been referred from all Indian students some or other time. You also have Keith Moore's Developing Human, which is having all your reference, and it's a nice language book also. It's a standard book. Okay. So if you are just restricting your studies to the UG style, you can go for the first options and contemporaries which you observe in your medical bookstore. Okay. So there is Vishram Singh as well. There are other books which are coming. There are times. So there are a lot of publications coming with the simpler and more understandable. Okay. So the language they are improving. They are improving the quality of pages and everything. So I'm just giving you few names if you don't know at all. Okay. Neuroanatomy, Vishram Singh and IB Singh are cut to cut. They are very difficult to choose, and you can purchase any one of them. Barr's Human Nervous System is my personal favorite. Barr's Human Nervous System is one of the very nice and giving simple lucid language, as well as few nice pictures in there. But for UG, I would suggest Vishram Singh or IB Singh will be more than enough. Okay. SD Gangane's Genetics is a nice companion for the human genetics, and this is more than enough for the users. I guess you can have a number of books ranging from the Nettles, from the Grays, from the you name. There are a lot of atlases, lot of dissectors, but this the proper way to master the anatomy is reading with as many times as you can a single book, and it will give you some other different understanding of the same topic, and that is what is we call understanding. Okay. You repeat your reading, and you will get more from those books. So the best of luck to all of you. Best wishes for a very very bright future ahead.